So there we was. Bop, 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 bop. A few in the air, and then a few in the crowd, and skirt! We were off. Doing like 90 to 100 in a 40-mile-per-hour highway. We're going, speeding. About 1:30, 2 a.m. in the morning. Whoop, whoop. All of a sudden, 3 minutes later, after I shot up that bar, cop pulls us over, but not for the shooting, for a DUI. So my boy, we've got past DUIs and DUI tests and all that, but for some reason, this night was not his night, and this night wasn't my night. So we get pulled over, and I look back at the acquaintances behind us. I say, nobody says nothing. Nobody says nothing. Hide the pistol, the 40 cal, 2 clips, 2 extra clips was what I was carrying, put it in the center console. Cousin gets out, and he just blows the whole test. This man is, boom, stumbling here, boom, stumbling there. And we knew it. Right at that moment, I was like, I got 2 choices. I can stay here, or I can run for that field 20 yards right in front of us. Now, this cop was overweight. I mean, he was like almost morbidly obese. I would have easily outran him, but something told me don't go. Next you know, we hear it over the radio. We got a drive-by shooting, silver Lexus, and there was this pause. I'm looking in the mirror. Cop's looking at my cousin, and he's shocked for a second. He realizes this is the license plate. This is the car. It's like a 15-second pause. It felt like 15 minutes. Starts stumbling for his gun. Everyone get your hands up. Keep your hands. Get your hands out the window. Yes, sir. No problem, sir. Next thing you know, I'm in the back of the cop car. They take me out to identify me. They put the spotlight on me. They bring the cop car around. They got 3 witnesses in the back. And the only thing I hear in the dead of night silence, we got a positive ID on the shooter. Boom. Knew it was over. It was over. First thing I did, right when I got in the cop car, they forgot to take my phone from me. And I called my girl. And I pretty much said, it's over. Now, she was used to me going to jail. She was used to me being this dysfunctional dude. She was used to bailing me out. Whatever, what was it this time? I said, nah, girl, you don't understand. I'm going to be gone for a while. I wake up in a jail cell, underground, and it just hit me. Bang. I'm facing 20 to 30 years in prison for shooting somebody, getting caught with the gun, stolen gun, unlawful possession of a firearm, prior points, and I was already a felon as a child, and I was tried as an adult. It was over, and I'll finish telling you that story maybe in another video, but I learned these 5 principles, while I was in prison. In fact, when I was in jail, and these 5 principles in the most unlikely place, in some of the most hostile environments, testosterone filled with some of the most dangerous individuals, 5 principles, and became a functioning man in jail, in prison. It works anywhere. It's deep seated within us. Number 1 is you need a purpose. You need a purpose in life. You need a reason for being. And the reason I was doing all this crazy stuff, the reason why I was addicted to everything, man, I was so addicted that I was addicted to addiction just for the sake of being addicted. I was addicted to sex. I was addicted to messing with other women. I was addicted to drugs. I was addicted to violence. I was addicted to anything that gave me a rush, a dopamine rush. Whatever it was, man, I was addicted to it. I was addicted to the lifestyle because I didn't know any better. But the number 1 reason was because I didn't know there was other things. I didn't know why I was here on this earth for. I didn't know who I was here on this earth for. I didn't know who I was supposed to be. First principle, deep-seated, timeless principle. Any man you look at in the history of mankind who is a highly functioning, productive, impactful member of society, any man that walked this earth, that left a testimony, that left a legacy, that gave us something to strive after, that made an example, that produced something of value, that changed people, somebody who had a valuable life, right? That man had a purpose. That man knew why he was here on this earth for. That man had a reason for being. Number one is purpose. Each man needs a purpose. Okay, so I'm interrupting this broadcast for a specific reason. At this point in time, I forgot to mention this, and I believe that it's extremely important, specifically when we're talking about purpose. I'm going to quote something to you, and I want to see if you know who it came from. It's probably going to blow your mind, and I'm going to tie this in both to purpose and what's coming after, which is meaningful work. In our dreams, people yield themselves in perfect docility into our molding hands. I'll say it again. In our dreams, people yield themselves with perfect docility into our molding hands. Guess which group of men quoted that? It was the GEB.
Who are we talking about?
Which was established in 1905. What does this matter to you? Because that is the General Education Board, which is largely in charge of most public education school systems. Who organized it and who established it? John D. Rockefeller. Yeah, they said that. In our dreams, people yield themselves with perfect docility into our molding hands. That's what these dudes said. What does this have to do with purpose? Here's an important lesson about purpose. Here's an important lesson about goals, aims, values, vision. Here's an important lesson about contribution and meaningful work toward an aim and toward a purpose. If you don't have one, someone will convince you to contribute to theirs.
What did you say?
I'll say it again. If you don't have one, whether you know it or not, you will be serving someone else's purpose on this earth.
Interesting.
Now, I'm not saying that indirectly we don't do that. So, for instance, if you're tuning in and you're watching this, then I'm in some way helping you fulfill your purpose. But that is me doing that on purpose. That's me doing it intentionally. Okay?
Oh, now I see. Now I get it.
But what I mean is, you without you even knowing it, I without me even knowing it. If I don't have an aim or a destination that I'm going to, someone's going to steer me to their destination and to be a stepping stone for them to get there. Someone's going to help use me to help them get to where they need to go. I'm going to be a cog, a worker bee in building their nest, in cultivating and creating their honey, so to speak.
I'm sorry, what are you talking about?
What do I mean by this? Think of Pharaoh, okay? The Jews didn't have a destination, didn't have a land of their own. They didn't have purpose. In fact, they came from Israel, where they were strangers in the land, and they went into Egypt. They weren't made to stay there. And Pharaoh thought, I'm going to use them to build my empire. And so for 400 years, they were used as free labor to build his empire. In fact, this is how bad it can get. It can get so bad that you and I are so used to not having a purpose and building someone else's purpose that they can brainwash us without even fighting. We lay ourselves into their hands and we get so used to what they determine is good, what they determine is success, what they determine is right. So for instance, you got an A on your report card. That's how they grade employees. A creator is not graded like that. An entrepreneur is not graded like that. The founder of a business is not graded like that. You got an A, you got a B. Oh, yep, you're up for review. We're going to see if you deserve that raise. We were trained that whole way from schooling on up, from elementary all the way up to high school, right? We're trained that way in the workplace, okay?
Okay.
And because something is done on a regular basis so normally, it becomes our norm, even though it is not normal. Does that make sense? The children of Israel, or the Israelites, the Hebrews, to them, slavery should not have been normal. Depending on Pharaoh for their food on a daily, while basically getting told what to do, living like bums, not just living like bums, literally living the life of a slave, being lorded over it, telling them when to get up, when to go to sleep, how much bricks they had to make, how much food they get allotted. That was so normal to them that when they had freedom and they had the ability and they had the opportunity to make decisions for themselves, to create things, to band together and use their resources to make something for themselves, they just wanted to go back to what was normal to them. They wanted to go back to what was familiar. They didn't want to put in the work. In fact, so much so that they never actually succeeded. The generation that first came out of slavery and remembered slavery in Egypt, they never actually succeeded in living a free life. That entire generation had to die out in order for the next generation to succeed. It was the same way with Albert Einstein and the theory of relativity, right?
Right.
Everyone subscribed to Newton's law until they just died out. They didn't change their mind, they just died out. The old way of things, the old way of thinking just died out. Now, what's my point on this? The point is, the danger of it is you will serve someone else's purpose, and that's what I did. I was serving, I don't know whose purpose I was serving, man. Me and my friends raised each other. We all had our own ideas, passed on from other people what they thought was good. You know, you need them chains, you need them cars, you need them beezies.
What did you say?
You know what I'm saying? Them girls, the women.
Oh, I get it.
You need this type of clothes. You need this kind of cash. You need that pistol at your hip at all times. Maybe two. You need a chick, a side chick, and a side chick to your side chick. You know what I'm saying? And this was, I was serving them. I was serving their ideologies. These poets, these modern day poets' view of success, and they was serving someone else's view of success and purpose. And that's where it landed me. So here's another way of putting it. If you don't make a decision, you've made a decision not to make a decision, and sooner or later you will serve someone else's cognizant, intentional decision that they made by default. I hope that makes sense. I hope I'm getting through. That's why this part of having a purpose is extremely important, because if we don't have a clear vision, right, then you'll follow someone else's, whether it be from TV, whether it be on social media, whether it be what this person thinks about that or that person thinks about that. And I'll say it again, the way and the place I got my purpose from is I got it from the Bible. I got it from faith. I'm not saying I'm a perfect man. I'm not a Bible thumper. I'm not trying to do that. I'm just sharing with you, this is truth. And believe it or not, you're going to serve something. So you might as well serve something that you decided to serve on purpose.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much.